Deputy. Next, two deputies. Deputy Anthony Lawler and Martin Hayden to the Minister of Transport and Tourism, the funding provision in order to progress the N7 upgrade. Deputy Lawler first. 2 minutes, Deputy.
Yeah, first of all, thank you very much, Concorda, for allowing us to bring this issue up. And I do appreciate the Minister taking time out for his busy schedule to come in here and give us a response. This project is regarding the upgrade of the N7, Osberstown Interchange and the Sallins bypass. And if you don't mind, we'll group them all together because we look at it in Kildare as being one part of one package. Obviously, the reason that we're bringing it forward here now today is that we've had the upgrade of the N7 as far as Naas from 2 lanes to 3 lanes coming into a 2-lane road, and it has caused serious congestion, particularly at peak traffic times, and it's caused, as a result of that congestion, there's increased traffic going through the villages of Kill and Johnstown, which have been bypassed since the early 60s. The planning on this has been passed by An Bord Pleanála because of a strategic piece of infrastructure, and that was welcomed back last September. But we need actually now, what we're talking to you about is the funding to progress this forward. The economic benefit for this is quite clear when the NRDO explained to us that when it's at 1, it justifies the development of it. The Sallins bypass is at 17. The Naas bypass can be up to 15, so there's huge economic benefit of it. It happens to be the second busiest road in the country after the M50 from that perspective. There's also an associated with the interchange at Osberstown the potential of creating 6,000 jobs in the northwest quadrant of Naas. We've seen there that the Kerry Group, anyone passing by can see the development there of the Kerry Group, and the necessary infrastructure with regard to the Osberstown interchange is vitally important for that. Minister, what we're looking at is for a commitment for a multi-annual funding for the next from 2016, 2017 and 2018, because this project will take about 18 months to complete. At this moment in time, the NRDO are hoping that they'll be able to progress it further than where it is at the moment.
Thank you. Deputy Hayden.
Thank you, Thank you, Concorda, and I want to thank Deputy Lawler and Deputy Griffin for raising this. Deputy Hayden, I'm so sorry for raising this matter with me. And I just want to say, Concorda, that both deputies have been persistently raising this matter with me, and just put on the record of the Dáil that they continually raise this matter with my department and with me to emphasise the importance of this project both nationally and locally. And at some point in the future, when progress is made in this project, it will be in no small part due to the efforts of both deputies for continually raising this matter with me in my department and then on the Dáil floor through parliamentary questions and through topical issues. As the deputies are aware, I do have responsibility for overall policy and funding in relation to the National Roads Programme. The construction, the improvement and the maintenance of individual national roads, such as the Naas bypass widening, is a matter for the National Roads Authority under the Roads Act from 1993 to 2007, in conjunction with the local authorities that are concerned. Within its capital budget, the assessment and prioritisation of individual national road projects is a matter for the NRA in accordance with Section 19 of the Roads Act. As regards the interchange and the bypass that both deputies have referred to me, the improvement and maintenance of regional and local roads is the statutory responsibility of each local authority in accordance with Provision 13 of the Act of 1993. Work on these roads are funded from local authorities' own resources, supplemented by road grants from the state. The selection and prioritisation of works to be funded is therefore a matter for the local authority. Because of the national financial position, there have been very large reductions in roads expenditure over the past number of years. Funding in 2008 was €2.3 billion. And to put that in context, funding this year is around €730 million for the national, for the regional and for a local road network. And the reality, as I've said publicly, and I reiterate again, is that available road work and available funding, I should say, does not match the work that needs to be done to maintain the projects that we have and the roads that are there, while addressing the growing demand that both deputies have raised with me. For this reason, it is not possible to progress a range of worthwhile projects because the focus has to be on maintaining and repairing the road network that we have at the moment. The deputies will be aware of the huge importance of road safety, and that is why I have, with the funds that are available to me, devoted them all to maintaining the roads that we have in place before we can prioritise new projects. Only a small number of new national projects have been progressed to construction stage. It is important to reiterate the role of exchequer grants for regional and local roads to supplement councils. I am aware of these specific projects, and I want to acknowledge their considerable merit because they are interconnected. They do also have a substantial overall cost. The objective of the M7 Naas bypass widening scheme is to increase capacity and improve traffic flow on the Dublin to Cork road corridor. The interchange and the bypass schemes are intended to enhance connectivity between the M7 and the towns of Naas and Sallins. The interchange will connect to the proposed R407 Sallins bypass to the north and existing roads to the south. And the receipt of planning permission for these projects last September was a very positive and important development. Unfortunately, the current financial realities are that budgets proposed for my department for 2016 and for 2017 do indicate that capital funding will continue to be very tight, and that my ability to progress new projects and new public-private partnerships is limited. I know that it is important to restore over time capital funding for the transport sector to ensure that infrastructure is maintained, but as of now, I'm not in a position to give a commitment in relation to funding for these particular projects, while I do acknowledge their national and local importance.
Deputy Lawler. 1 minute.
I suppose, Minister, overall I wouldn't be very enthused about your response. I understand the financial constraints we're under as a country. Part of this funding we hope would be secured, and Deputy Hayden will talk about this on a European basis, but NAMA, who have the land surrounding the proposed Osberstown Interchange, are willing to put forward 10 million towards that project there. So there is outside sources of funding. The whole overall project is about 110 million, but we can identify about 25% of this from other sources, and we would hope, Minister, that there is a capital programme, I understand, been initiated shortly, that the Minister would consider this as being a priority project for the capital funding that's been proposed from 2016 onwards, so that at least we can get this project up and running. As we said, both of us may talk locally about it, but it is a national project because it is one of the main arteries throughout this country. It's not alone a national route, but it's a European route too as well. And as a consequence of that, we feel that very strongly that we would hope that you would push Minister Howlin when the capital programme has been assessed and analysed on this project.
Thank you. Deputy Hayden.
Thank you, Count Corla, and thank the deputies for their response. I fully accept and recognise that the response that I made back to them is disappointing, because I know how important this project is locally, and I also accept the importance of it nationally as well. In relation to job creation, I'm very much aware of the investment that Kerry Group is making at the moment in the Millennium Park. I understand that that's going to employ between 350 and 400 people. They've emphasised to me directly that they believe the development of this, of better access, will be very important for making sure that their investment pays out and delivers what they want to our economy. A number of points in relation to what my colleagues have made to me. The first point is that I've been informed that were we to go ahead with the interchange itself, that would increase traffic flow within the vicinity by approximately 8%. And Deputy Hayden made the very correct point to me that when you look at a project like the flyover and the way that's been opened at the beyond the Red Cow, that what it does is it shifts and can shift traffic congestion elsewhere, which feeds into the concern that you have in relation to this project. And the current analysis of the projects that you're referring to, deputies, is that were we to go ahead with them, it would be highly advisable to move the three of them together to ensure that we don't end up shifting one problem from one part of your community to another. In order for that to go ahead, the overall cost of that project is €110 million. And while you have acknowledged that there could be other funding opportunities out there, and I recognise the fact that NAMA have indicated they will be willing to make a contribution, there are still many tens of millions of euro that I would be required to contribute to this project. What I want to do is emphasise to you how important I know it to be in order to support economic development within your region. And while I cannot give you a commitment now, as I've already said, that it can be progressed because I simply don't have the money to do it, neither does the government, the fact that this project has received planning permission is something that obviously I'm very much aware of. And I will continue, despite all the competing demands that I have to manage, to see if I can find any opportunity at all to progress projects that I know are very economically and very socially important.
Thank you. Next item.